the messages that you should share on social media and the content that you produce should really only be talking to a contrarian point of view. Otherwise, what you're saying is just like what everyone else is saying. Like, if I come out and say, let's say I'm a health and diet guy, and I'm like, hey, you should do intermittent fasting, and I just leave it at that. Everyone's going to be like, it's plain vanilla. It's old. It's like there's nothing different about what's going on about. When it comes to what your message to the world and obviously the brilliance that you do, what do you think is contrarian?
I think...
Thank you for bringing the coffee, by the way.
Of course, bro. I think, like there's a lot of coaches who say to the coaches, hey, you should do organic and everything. And I've been telling you about that. Like we consider, at my company, we consider people who do like organic as the vegan of digital marketing, which is the people who, so because there is a cost, people don't want to spend the money on ads to acquire traffic.
Yes.
Because I believe it's the best thing to do. So then you get instant feedback, and people, what they do is that they spend so much time doing content and everything, and they get like all the views, all the likes, but they don't get conversion. They think that attention is conversions, and that's, I think, a trap. But I really agree with him. You have
I
to
say one thing to that, because I think this is absolutely brilliant. And I had actually a really good friend say, and I think it was something that actually stemmed from like Gary Vee. It was like, attention is the new currency.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that's totally true in the whole context of it, because attention is the currency if, and this is the assumption that makes it true or not, if you have the skill set and ability to convert it.
At some point. And Gary Vee did. For like 10 years, he didn't do anything, right? He just built attention, and then he built VFriend, and he did 70 fucking million in a week.
Well, it's like, to me,
in a week?
Alex Hormozy says what would happen if you spend the next 5 years just building your personal brand, just putting great content out there and not trying to monetize it. You'll have something that is far richer to be able to use moving forward. I think that's super interesting.
In France, like everyone know me because I run ads. We're just starting to do content because I didn't want to do content, but it's for nurturing, right? It's like, and I think it's a good point. So when you start to do content, when you already have your funnel, you can make money like that. And when you make content, you just make content because you like it, and then you don't try to close them straight away, and then you build a relationship with the viewers. You know what
Personally,
I mean?
I find this really interesting because like what we're doing right now, what I do with this show, like there is no economic engine behind this. I'm not monetizing. I've got nothing to sell you. Like this is us sharing because we want to help. We have something that we think might be of value at the end of the day. I'd be interested to know actually what you think about this concept. So for myself, I've been thinking about the concept how there's two things, well, there's many things, but there's two main factors that might professionally drive us, and that is we need a money-making machine and we need a meaning-making machine. So money-making machine makes us money, meaning gives us meaning. I think where a lot of people go wrong is they don't understand that there are two separate things here, and most people try and do the same thing.
I want to live for my passion. I just want to...
100%. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They can't define for themselves what makes me money and what gives me meaning, and how do I both have this work? How do I have harmony between those two things? Now, personally, for me, I was like, my money-making machines is the business, and my meaning-making machines is what we're doing here. It's like the Christopher Dufey, the personal brand stuff like that. So this is me wanting to talk about the things I want to talk about, have the conversations I want to have, learn and share at the end of the day. Like, for example, it was Taki. He sat me down a little while ago and he said to me, he goes, Chris...
He's really good. Like, he's smart.
He's incredible. But he asks such really good questions, and he goes, Chris, what would you do if you didn't have to work for money? Because that's going to be coming really soon. So what is it that you would do? And I'd never thought about this before. And I go, learn and share. I love learning, but I love sharing, and I love how you need to do the both together to get really good at them as well. And so that's what it was epiphany for me to go, like I can do this. This is actually something I want to do. So when it comes to you, what's the money-making machine? What's the meaning-making machine? And how do you see these?
So first of all, before answering that, I would just answer this like a more broader way. I think that people, I think that's the problem of our society. I think this is problem of rich people. And I think I told you last time, because we see each other every day at the gym, right? And
we should talk about that as well.
It's a rich problem. It's basically someone who have been too high in the pyramid of Maslow, and then he start to think about my purpose and all the thing, and then or they didn't have the trauma that we had. Like me, I mean, I built businesses. I thought that I was like making money, and I was making money. And then I thought that it was about me. I thought I was the smartest guy in the room. And then my business went down, zero, and it took me 2 years to get back to a certain level. So I don't know if you read the book like Compound Effect of Aaron Hardy, the CEO of Success Magazine. I read this book 4 or 5 years ago, and then he's saying something is like when you work is like when you do the fire, right? So you like, you know, in Pro Story, like you do the fire, and then you teasing, and then the heat comes, and then it's like you're calling Mo. Mo is the momentum, and then when Mo come in the house, you just fucking close the door, you close the windows, and you don't let him go, and then you just scale. And the mistake I've done, it was like, hey, yeah, I'm making money, now I'm living here, and here in Bali, it's pretty easy to hang out with people who, like, you have people who make like tens of millions a month, and then they're just like, people who make 500 a month, and then they just do nothing, and then I think it's a danger. So I think it's good to be unsatisfied and not actually doing for the numbers, doing for the challenge, because I think as a man you need challenges.
Yes.
And there's a guy in France called Oussama Amar. He's a famous, very smart guy, and he said something, and then it really clicked with me. It's like before, when I was younger, I loved like all the Marcus Aurelius. I loved you have something of him here, right?
Yeah.
So that's fun. Like Alexander the Great. Yeah. And I don't know why, it's something about like going somewhere that no one had been before, conquering lands that no one did before, and also actually winning and maybe slaughtering other in competition, right? And that's how I see myself in the competition. I just want to honestly destroy the competition. Yeah. I'm not here, like, I don't think there's a place for more than me in the market. Yeah. I'm 100% honest, and all my team is aligned with that, right? And that's the core of the company. Is like the brand is like with the movie 300. Mm-hmm. So this is how we align each other. Yeah. So we're like, guys, there is no fucking room from someone else. And
can I just say, if I ever have the opportunity to front kick someone down a well, I'm definitely going to take that opportunity.
I mean, this is like when you're in the marketplace, this is how we do it. Like, and like. Always like by respect and everything, but the way that we're playing strategic, the way that we work, the way that we deliver result to our clients, the way we build processes, it's like everything is like we have to 10x. And people, when they come to us, they're like, what the fuck? Like, I never have, like, there is no comparison. Like, people don't compare. When people hop with us on the phone, they don't compare our brand with other people because there is no comparison. So coming back to this guy, to what he said is like, there's something with those Alexander the Great, and then so this is how I see. This is about challenge. This is about growing, and then in the beginning you have like, you make money, but after that, if it's the only thing that you have, then what you will do, this is the setup. You start to make money, and then you start to hate what you do, and then you start to try to outsource it, or maybe when another crypto bull run will come, you would jump. I would just on the spot talking to my friends, and then he was making millions a month with his business, and then he was doing great. And then when he didn't like it that much, and then when the crypto went, he just went full in, and then he was like making so much money, like 500K in a day. Yeah. That's a lot, and not rupiah. USD, USD, and then he get liquid like so many problems, and now the market is down. And he didn't watch after his business, and the business is down, and actually you have nothing. Yeah. So this is a lesson, and I'm very sorry for him. By the way, people who lost money on crypto, it's the good moment to see who is your true friends, to see who told you like, oh, now you see it's bad, so then it's the good way to. Maybe when you watch this video, the Bitcoin is at 500K, and I'm wrong. but it's good to see that, and I think when something is doing well, you should honor it, because like work is not have to be meaningful. Like almost you said that last time. Like why work have to be meaningful?
I at the moment, I really like this, and as you're speaking, I also want to honor where each individual person's at, and what you do so brilliantly is being conscious of how you're operating and wanting to operate from that place, because it's been interesting. Like I feel like I'm in the season now where that conquering, that slaughtering, that kind of like taking over new lands, it just doesn't sit with me anymore in that way. And it's like there's a different, I think it's a different game, different playing field that it comes into it as well.
Different timing also.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's just where like it's understanding who you are and understanding what game you want to play, and then playing that game to the best that you possibly can.
Yeah.
And then knowing that you can pick your ball up and walk away,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean, to play a different game,
Yeah.
just to get out of it,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean, if you want to be able to as well. But where I find problems arise for others, like, again, this is just like me looking from the outside in and projecting whatever I'm projecting, but it's a case of them not understanding what they're playing at and them not doing the things they need to do. Like, so it comes from like a...
what you want
ignorance.
and acknowledging like what it's necessary
Yes.
to do in daily activities or
Yes.
weekly activities if you want to go there. Like if you want something, it's 100% fine, but just you have to know what's the curse.
Is it understanding the cost you must actually truly pay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of calories, in terms of stress,
Yeah.
in terms of everything.
Yeah.
Content, everything, calories, like everything that you're gonna spend.
Yeah.
Like you have to know what otherwise you're just lying to yourself and just hoping, and it's good, but then you have someone who's working 10 times more than you, and then he will take off. Like, there's a lot of people who. Yeah.
You're a very intelligent dude, and I love every time we come together. Like, I think the beauty of this friendship that grows between us is. So let's give some context into this. So, Jimmy, we see each other pretty much every morning
for the last
because we're at the gym at the same time, and then we have a sauna and ice at the same time as well, which I totally love. And so then it kind of these conversations started with each other and being able to help each other, and it's growing from here. And I absolutely adore and I love that so much. But the question I want to ask is, knowing you the way that I know you now, what do you think is the difference between why you're being successful in what you're doing and why others may not be successful? Like, what do you think is actually the difference?
In the same field or?
No, it's just separate. I don't even care about the same marketplace or anything like that, because let's be perfectly honest, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, hang on, let's look at the life that you lead right now, right? You live in Bali. You could live anywhere in the world, but you currently live in Bali right now. You have tons of freedom. Do you know what I mean? You run a multi-million-dollar business. You are doing amazing work that you get lots of meaning from at the same time. Like, people are going to be looking at this and being like, oh, Ismael's just lucky. I don't accept that whatsoever, because I see you work and I see how...
I quit my home when I was 14 years old. I started to work when I was 15 years old. So I was still coming back to my family in the weekend, but I was living in another town. So I started to work at 14, 15 years old. So I started to have my own scooter. I started to earn my own money. I was earning €365 a month when I was 14, 15. So I was doing...
What were you doing?
I was putting like AC. And that's why I talk a lot about calories, because it's calorie in, calorie out, and this is how you fridge like a room, cool a room, or you get heat. So this is how I see business. So this is like, and I was working like and actually crazy life, crazy fucking life.
And as someone going from 14 years old, doing air conditioning, to now running a sales business. How the hell did that
so I started with work because I didn't like school. I didn't like school. It wasn't for me. And I always like to hang out with people and then exchange. And I always liked sales. And my father had a little shop. So I was like, when in the weekend, he was like going at 12, going for having a lunch, and I was giving the change and selling the things. So I really like to talk and sell things to people. So, and then one day I was, an example, we went out of in a club, and then we came back at like 3 or 4 a.m. And then I start to talk with the guy, the only shop that it's open in town where you get people buy beer and stuff like that. So they were buying alcohol and then other things for the after party. And it was just like, I'm not drinking, so I was just like here. And I started to talk to the guy on the machine, and then he told me, hey, what do you do? I explained him, and then he told me, hey, I need to change all my fridge and everything. I was like, okay, let's do it. And we start to measure. It was 3, 4 a.m. And then we start to measure the things and everything. And say, oh, yeah, we can sell it. And I was watching on the website and everything. And then the next day, Monday, I came back at my work, and I said, hey, there's this guy, we should go to my boss. And then we came back, and then we sold him like the machine for like 21K.
Yeah. Like
21K, it was 15.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it's not that hard. Selling, it's not that hard. And then actually I was starting to sell, and then instead of going out on weekend, I started to learn how to sell more, because I was like, oh, I can make money like that. I don't need anyone. I don't need a job. I can sell things like that. And one other story, like when I was like the calendars, I was selling, at school, each year the school create the calendars of the school.
Yeah.
And it was like I was 8 years old. All right. And they give me like 3 calendars, and I knocked to the door, I'm saying the calendars, hey, it's for the school. And I was selling them so well. And the next day I came back at school, and then I sold everything, and my colleague didn't sell any. So I refill, I go sell. And then I was selling them so good, and I tried to sell them for like €7 instead of 3. So I can keep the change.
Yeah.
And then, when you keep the change, man, you reach you like 8, and then you have your pocket like, the sounds of the money in your pocket is the best feeling. And I was buying candies, and then when you play soccer, everyone give you the ball because you have all the candies. So that's I'm like, if you have money, then you can buy candies, and if you have candies, then everyone like you, then you're the G, right? So and after that, she didn't want to give me more calendars because she thought that I was stalling from like my parents. She said, it's weird, he's the only kid who is able to sell, and I was always fighting, so I was the bad reputation, but at the same, so she was thinking I was doing something bad. So what I did, I went to my colleague and I said, hey guys, I'm gonna get the calendars from you, and then I'm gonna sell it. And I was giving them like €1 more.
Yeah.
It was kind of a business. I was selling calendars.
Yeah.
So that's the first memory of me selling. And after that, just selling, and then selling. And after that, so selling, and after that, we start to do e-commerce.
Yeah.
And e-commerce is like sell with marketing, right? But it was nice to move from sales to marketing, which is, I told you, like for me, sales and marketing are the same.
Yeah.
People see it as 2 different things.
Yeah.
For me, it's completely wrong. So to answer your question that you told me before, what's the one belief that people have, like the false belief is that marketing, it's nothing to do with sales, and sales is not marketing. Like the media buyer, the people the agency, the marketing agency, they are really bad at sales, right? But this is the people who run the lead gen.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Stupid.
Yeah.
So for me, marketing and sales is the same thing. Just marketing, it's sales on steroid. Period. And
can I give a example of why I think that is so correct? Is because of the changes we made with the business just over the last couple of weeks. We had our monthly review meetings yesterday, and the feedback was hilarious because we've had sales go up really easily, and the feedback was, I actually had one of the sales. It's not even the sales team, there's the coaches that are now doing it. And the coach asked the prospect, the new client, why are you so keen to join? Like, he was like, what's going on? And he was like, oh, I've already seen this, I've seen this. Like, is already gone through everything.
Was closed
he needed.
before.
Exactly. And so he's literally come onto this call willing to make a $30,000 plus dollar investment, just like, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, because there is no separation between sales and marketing. No. And if you truly look at it, like, let's call it acquisition. I'm just acquiring a new client, a new customer. What does that actually mean?
Yeah.
It makes life a lot easier.
And the thing is, people who don't understand that, it's that, so let's say acquisition, all right? That's the customer start here, the prospect start here, and he's your customer. Yeah. But not only your customer, he's like the deliver, like he got the result. This is how I see it. Yes. I don't see it only from like lead gen to like book a call. People, this is how they see it. You have to see from lead to fucking get result, living his dream life. Yeah. Acquiring what you promised him on the first place. So then this is, let's say 100 points. Yep. So let's say this is calories, like 100 units. And then, so if you have a shitty marketing offer or machine, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna spend like, you're gonna like opt in super easy, make 100 million a month without working, blah, blah, blah. So then you have like lead gen, like leads for very cheap. And then, okay, perfect. Then so you think that you won. But then the problem is that the conversion rate here on the sales cycle, on the sales, is terrible. So then that's me that, so I see it like blue because like it's really easy. Everyone is like a fish in the swimming, like super fast. But then here's like, you have inflammation. I see it as blue and red and orange. It's like a body going through inflammation through. This is how I see it, okay? Really weird.
I love that.
But and this is blue, and now it's super red. And then, so what's the salespeople gonna do? They're gonna oversell. Yeah. They're gonna oversell because they're gonna say, "Oh, the product is amazing. You're gonna have this promise," and they're gonna sell something that you don't deliver. Yeah. So then, because it's there's too much inflammation in their bones.
Selling hot. I call that selling hot.
And then, so they're gonna flash the color. They're gonna flash the inflammation to the rest. So then, your customer success. That will suck because it will be here.
They can't ever provide what the other person's promised.
And then after that, bad review, and then boom, boom, boom. So, and there's so many people who are lazy with they just want a quick fix, and they don't. And after that, even the salespeople, no one will work with you if you have like shitty leads. Yeah. So then after that, the churn rate, and then you need to processes to hire salespeople, and then that build like more calories. You just have to sit down and create and look to the business and try to build like a good marketing funnel.
So can I ask you, if let's say we've got someone right here, you, and we want to be able to help you build your business, is there a framework? Is there a diagnostic? What's the kind of thinking process for you to be like, how do we piece these?
Yeah.
How do we piece the puzzle together? What's your thinking process for these?
So it depends the person. So. You start with 100 million offer. Yeah. I think that's the drill. And then you see like, I think people should move more to service-based, and because no one is buying courses anymore. Yeah. Because people don't care about course. People care about the result. So if you deliver the result, then people will pay. And if they have high likelihood to achieve the result, then they're gonna buy. So try to, in your funnel, show like how, first of all, you can deliver the result. You do this very well. That's why you are able to do high ticket. And after that, you need to overcome objection before they even come in their mind.
So smart. I don't think enough people think about that. As in my marketing, how does my message answer the objections that they probably haven't even consciously thought of? Yeah. But you can bring that up to bring that problem conscious mind and then solve that before they even have to move forward.
Yeah, doesn't exist. Bro, we've been scaling without organic. We do not have any YouTube video on my channel yet. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think.
It's fucking crazy.
Because when you kind of like open that door, it's just going to be an absolute floodgate. Because from what I've seen in experience is the nurturing aspect that can come from the providing good quality content and just the way it is so powerful.
So important.
But 100% agree with you. Starting with paid or as soon as possible so that you can test the market message and what the offer actually is. And so you can have speed of actually getting momentum at the end of the day as well.
And then also I don't see like, if you really want to acquire, like if you really want to deliver amazing result to your clients, having a great sales team, having good acquisition, having the best funnel ever, having the best sales team, having good operation, having the good customer service, good customer success, and having the whole community, because we are really based on community, and having the whole fucking ecosystem working together. I don't see how I can do all of this while doing content at the same time.
Yeah.
There is no way. Yeah. But maybe I'm biased, but also my strength is sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And also the thing that's been shifting a lot, because when I entered the sales and training and coaching business, it's before I was doing e-commerce.
Yeah.
In e-commerce, like you never talk to a customer.
Yeah.
There's no sales, there's no community, so it's like straight to conversion assets, and then you measure everything and you do A/B tests. The product is a physical product you just deliver, and then you outsource the manufacturing.
Yes.
So when I came in my business, I was like, why are those people like, why they spend too much time in the product because when we start to sell the product, bro, we didn't have the product. People booked a call. We had them on the phone. We said, hey, we are thinking about launching a course. We're going to have it in 3 weeks. So you're going to pay 2K now. And we're going to have a live in 2 weeks. Nothing, no funnel, nothing. And people say, okay, yeah, let's do it. And we've been closing people like that. And then we've been doing like live calls every week, and then recording. Now we change everything. The whole course is amazing. But in the beginning, you don't need to spend too much time creating the content and creating the course. And also, it's really good to talk to a customer, and then so you can see what they want, and then you can deliver for them.
Yeah, rather than you thinking, oh, this might be what they want, what they need, but then it's
of course.
Made it up. Can we swing back around? I think what you brought up earlier was super interesting and important, which is the case of like surrounding yourself with the right people, and maybe even putting it into the context of, it's very interesting living here in Bali, because there are the groups, the communities where it's like, hey, if I'm just making 10 grand a month, I'm done. I've made it. This is do you know what I mean? Sign me up. I'll walk away. I've done everything that I want. But then there's empire builders, if I can even dare say that, where we're like, no, I want to create something that is just far superior than just a lifestyle business itself. I think people fall into the trap of like just going to hey, I want 10K. And I think that's perfectly fine to begin with as well. But it's the decision of, do I want a lifestyle business? And do I want a empire? Let's just say there's two ends of the spectrum right now. And what am I willing to pay cost-wise in all facets of life to what it is I want to go?
Yeah.
What comes up for you there?
I think you have to be honest with yourself. Like, some people, wait a second. Do you even understand what you've been saying? Like, 10,000 a month, if you come back to France, this is ridiculous.
As in good?
It's beyond what they can put. Like, we're talking about like crazy shit here.
I know,
like,
and that's where I think.
Why? Because after that we can, like, I've been talking with a guy just a few minutes before. The guy made 100 mil.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it makes sense for it. It's crazy, ridiculous. It's not about the money. It's about winning. It's about going, like, what I like is like being on a fucking spaceship and wonder if the ship, if it would not explode, and feeling like, because I'm hyperactive, like I really like to push forward, and always. So that's why I had to bring like operation team, and then to always build, consolidate behind me, because otherwise I scale. And then after that, I think I did pretty well with my course. I really care, because for the first time, it's my fucking face. Yeah. When I was scaling all the fucking product, you close the store, no one, boom, okay, you're fine. But when it's my face, I was like, guys,
so you think you got more skin in the game now?
Oh man, for sure. Wow. My product have to be the best, or it's not. Like, we are going to deliver amazing. Otherwise, like, I could make money without showing my face.
Yeah.
That's people what I mean. I can make money. I can build a store, boom, boom, and then you can make money without it. If I start to show my face, it's not just to work for everyone, make few meal, and then go out. Because reputation is important. Reputation is the biggest asset that you have, right? So we try to do our best to deliver to our clients, and they know. So coming to what you said. I just think I don't think I will never be happy if I'm not performing. Like at the end of the day, I'm happy when I'm like, I did everything I could to push forward.
Thank you for saying that, because I concur, I subscribe, because for me, I remember being in a mastermind. I won't say the people's names, but you'd know. And essentially, I had two different sides of where did I want to take my business and my life.
Yeah, this one, right?
Yeah.
The business job, okay.
Yeah. And there was one side which was create a gigantic empire, huge.
Yeah.
Other side, still very incredible, but very much based around lifestyle, working minimal amounts and having space and time and stuff to do other stuff. I think it was great to have that experience, because it got me to really sit back and to be like, oh, what is it that I want? And also looking at what's the price that you have to pay to achieve each one of those. And for me, and this is where I really try to look at the beliefs that I have within myself and say, I go, if I want to build, do you know what I mean, a 9-figure empire, does that mean I have to not be the father or husband or person that I need to be able to do that? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or like in between these two, I've struggled with this question between that. Man. I feel like I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, oh no, I know the cost that I'm willing to pay to achieve.
So what's the answer?
To achieve. Well, I think it's actually very much in the middle, if I could be perfectly honest. Because the father and the husband, the friend, the man that I'm being today is exactly who I want to be and I want to continue. And the way the business is growing right now, and especially the next venture that's coming up, is like, it's funny because I almost feel like it's not easy, but it's like, this is meant to be. Like I can look back and think of all the different skill sets that I've built and the different experiences that I have to now go, oh, yeah, I can do this. I can totally do this, right?
It's like Lego that you build on top of it.
Yeah.
Like 100%, it's good. It's definitely easier as you go. Like you have the systems, you have the team. The team is important. Yeah. The team is fucking everything. The team is fucking everything. Like the team is fucking. Sometimes, like we place salespeople into companies, and some people sometimes I see like. Especially in French market, sometimes you have like the people making 100K a month. He think he's the king. Yeah. And then they have the ego. I think they just. Sometimes they think that, and then I'm talking to someone like you, and like and then we talk, and then the humility, and then I'm like, Anyways, so sometimes like outstanding.
If I can jump in, then I find it interesting because I think there's like brackets of between 0 to 1 million. You can do it by yourself or with like a VA. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to put your grindstone down. Yeah. Between 1 to 3, there has to be systems and some team forming and really coming together. And then going from the 3 to the 10, which is where I'm at now, being this really actually has to run without me being at it. And especially with me wanting to build an asset to sell, I'm really sitting back and being like, well, how does this run without me? And how do I build the leaders? Like for me, it's how do I become the master maker rather than me trying to be the dude like doing the dancing bear thing and it being about me.
So let's say, okay, you want to go to 10 mil. What is required from your hand? In terms of color, like every day, every week, what's
leading the leaders?
Okay, executive team. Okay, and he's been building operational side.
Oh yeah.
So and they've been merging together.
Yeah.
So he's So he was saying that he built businesses, and then he had to also learn to not to trust others to scale his company. And then he was saying that sometimes he was also generating auto-sabotage to confirm that he really needs to be in. So he was, it's weird, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Like he's been, he was explaining a few things that people try to scale business, and then in the way that they talk to the team or show, and then just to validate that, oh, I really need to be here.
Yes.
So it's something I have to learn. But sometimes I really need to be here too. You know, it's just about having all the boxes together, and it's not about like, let's say you have like sales, you have marketing, you have acquisition, you have distribution, you have fulfillment and everything. It's not about like, I really trust my sales manager, I really trust my operational manager, I really trust my marketing manager, I really trust like the whole thing. But sometimes it's in between, or the impact of this one on this one or the whole thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't have the
coherence.
And this is my job. This is what I'm doing actually. I'm like, yes, but did you think about that? What about that? The hiding cost of that.
Yeah.
Do you know that if you're going to move that, then you're going to create more calories here? This is what I'm doing the whole day actually.
So I found this really interesting actually. So knowing I'm replacing myself as CEO later this year, I've literally been creating my CEO SOP, like the way that we structured it out. And so like within the companies, I make it very clear the kind of operating system in which the business and the operations run of it. And so every team member has what we call a 4Rs, roles and responsibilities. I take that from Alex Shafran. And then everyone has a master SOP, which just shows them what their roles and responsibilities are and what their tasks are. And then every task is broken down into how do you actually do that task. And so for me, I've been breaking down, well, what exactly are my roles and responsibilities as CEO, and then creating the exact checklist of how do I perform that. So it's been brilliant for me because I've had to look upon what's my thinking process for getting each of these things done. And so then, because I know I'm literally then grooming the next CEO to be able to come in and replace me, and for him to have that thinking process in place, being able to know not just how did you get, not just what is the decision you made, but how did you get to that decision? And that's been profound for me, because then sitting back and giving yourself that time to be like, oh, what actually is my thinking process? And what are the assumptions I'm making to think that that decision is correct? That's what's been profound for me.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's been hard.
do you think there's any problem with like feeling like, no, there's only me that can do that? Or
Massive problem. Huge problem.
How many bags of
mushrooms
did you have to take to go through
lots
that
of
one?
bags of mushroom soups. Lots and lots and lots. And I think I continuously have to, because I don't want to think that this is me. And it is interesting because I was the dancing bear. It was my face.
Yeah.
And now it's not my face. And literally grooming and training that is like, oh, well, how do you shoot content? What's your story that's going to resonate with the marketplace right now? How do you become what Russell Brunson calls as the charismatic leader? Do you mean, and being able to groom that from the background now, and then thinking what are the thinking processes behind how that has to happen?
But you still want to keep the personal brand.
Yeah, so that's where I separated money making machine from meaning making machine, because the money making machine does not have my face there.
I like that.
And meaning is my face.
I think it's healthy like that way.
This is at the end of the day. But there's obviously no money making behind this. But I wish.
Interesting.
Earlier in my professional life, I was more aware and present about what my thinking process was behind what I'm doing. Like, rather than just being like, oh, I'm going to do that, and just getting on with it, and then down the track being like, oh shit, I have to change.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've been really good at making decisions and just like
in the rush, in the moment,
forward, but not being really conscious and present and like really thinking the things through.
Interesting.
Which now I think I am.
And sometimes sometimes you make decision and then you're reacting to a decision, but then you in a rabbit hole, and then you lost there. But actually, was it a good idea in the first place?
Yes.
And you have to like cut the arm, like really like, and sometimes.
So I think there's a great example of that was one of the mastermind groups that were in, I was away in the US, and I did a little teaching presentation for a group of them, and it was about how to be able to actually grow a coaching and service businesses without you being the head honcho and it being able to run by itself. And what was really, really interesting was actually first getting back to the point of, do you actually want to build this business that runs without you being the star, let's say, of it?
I don't think I'll be happy, bro.
No, so, dude, there were like a couple of great people, and I absolutely adore and I love them. And as we actually went through the why would you want to do this before the how do we do this, they were like, oh shit, no, I want to be front and center and on the stage and doing the dancing bear because I get so much meaning and I love that, which is nothing wrong. And that was the thing, like they were like, oh, actually I don't want to do this. Oh, okay. I
better know.
They're like totally. And then there was others who were like, oh yeah, like totally like.
So do you think, so the people who said, yes, I don't want to do that, do you think, do they have a good COO?
I don't know. It's a really good question.
Because most of the time, if you have a good operational manager who's going to take like all the processes and stuff like that, then you're only doing the fun stuff. Basically, what is fun for me is like fun marketing and sales. And of course, I have like my sales manager who is leading the team. He's the boss. He's the G, and he's taking care of that. But I'm always with him, and then and with my marketing, and then we just like talk each other. But I think head of growth is it's my thing.
Oh, it's your jam for sure.
Yeah.
I think, and I think I maybe say this more from like a 40,000 foot view and to help the viewer and the listener.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To give context is, are you trying to get something out of the business that business isn't actually for? Like ultimately, a business is to give you profits. That it's not to make you feel better about changing the world. Now, there is paradoxes to that as well. Actually, I heard someone say something I thought was really cool where they said, we're a mission that has a company. And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But I want to also, I really love looking at the counter argument of things.
It's better like that.
And I want to say, well, hang on, what if you just built a business? Because I look at this another way. Because, and I actually think this comes from because my 9-year-old daughter sat me down a couple of days ago. It was really beautiful. She sat me down and she goes, I want to start a business. And she was like, how do I start? And I go, okay, cool. Like
9 years old.
9 years old. And I go, let's look at the framework. And I drew a little diagram and I go, what do you enjoy doing? Who is it that you want to help? And then like, what do you want to be doing? Right? And so she was like, oh, okay. Like, and I was like, do this thinking process first, because then ultimately what a business does is it gives value to people and they're going to exchange money because you're giving them value greater to the money that they're giving you. And you just got to look at what's the problem that you're solving for them. So I just wanted her to see the world in being like, oh, I can help people with I'm solving other people's problems and get out of herself. And I think that's the basics of it, is like a business is going to solve someone's problem. And you want to do that to the best level that there is also a profitable economic engine behind it. So it's more the side effect of you getting meaning out of what you do is by generating profits. Because by the nature of it, you're only generating profits because you're delivering great value to the marketplace.
Not always.
To tell me, push back. I don't know.
Yeah, not always. How many people have delivered good value? What's value then? What's value, bro? Like all the therapists, all the fucking, I don't know, like, and then they help people like hypnotherapists, like the guy has been smoking for 15 years and then in 10 minutes, no smoking anymore, avoiding cancer or whatever the shit it is, and $50. And then you have like this fucking bored ape sold for like 800K. Get the bored ape out of the equation, but the value, it's a little bit more tricky. We've been,
I think.
I love it.
Let me say my thing. This is really good. I think if you take the moralistic point out of it, and at the end of the day, the marketplace dictates what value is, because if someone's willing to go, I'll buy a Bored Ape for whatever, or I could stop smoking with a $50 hypnotherapy session.
So I have a better view. I have a better example. You have Hire Us.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, you love that shit.
This motherfucker nailed it. Bro, this G, he fucking scaled the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Alex, congrats.
Yeah.
And then I have another friend who's building similar for Shopify, like AI tracking, site tracking, perfect. Because iOS 14, iOS 15, perfect. My friend, he's charging $90. I just get charged yesterday.
$2,861.
Charged by Hire Us. Every 3 months. Every 3 months, I'm paying $3,000 to Hire Us. And when you have my friends who's charging $99, same product, same benefit, different product, different value that I get from. How I see the value? Why I'm paying $3K when I can get it for $9K for $90? It's the marketing. It's there is a lot going on, and the positioning is like a phone call, and also just something that they did in the future, which is amazing. They add the column with Chrome extension. So each time you fucking load on your Facebook Manager or your Google Ads Manager, it's showing you like this is what Facebook record, like 10 sales, and this is what Hire Us track, 15 sales. So each time you open the Business Manager, that reinforce how the product is amazing. So each time that you have to open your product, or each time your customer take your product, have to reinforce the fact that they cannot run without you. So this is how you can charge 40, 50 times more.
Is that essentially the value as a part of, so let's say the two products could be exactly the same, but what you're saying is we could buy the more expensive products because let's say their marketing and sales is clearly better than the mechanism to buy. But is the better marketing and sales mechanism giving more certainty behind it going to work? So therefore I will happily pay $3,000 because I feel more certain that Hire Us is going to give me a better result compared to this $90 version.
So I think I said in the top. So let's go higher, okay? So I speak about marketing. So when I'm talking about marketing, because we also have companies to generate 10, 20, 30 calls a day. So when the first thing that we see is even before the product, it's the fucking positioning. Why would you go in a Shopify marketplace for one part? Like the difference is that Alex Becker is like on phone call funnel. People who do book phone call is high ticket. And the same product for Shopify owner is less value. So the marketing is like, okay, so where is the money going? Follow the money. Where is the attention? Where is the problem? And he just positioned himself into the most valuable place. And then he's been able to charge more because there's more people making money on this side.
I love that.
Because when you charge 3, 5, 10 grand a product, you don't care. If you just save 1 sales a month, makes sense. But when you're doing $30 sales, then with your e-com product. So this is the first big win that he did. Also the timing was incredible. He scaled at the right time. He already launched it before, but he already built like this man is good because he'd been doing it for like a few years before. And then he had like good product, iOS 14, COVID happened, and then he executed at the right time.
I love how you dissected that.
And then he's like the stars align, and then you would not be able to produce that. No one can reproduce that. It's your own luck, and then the next time other opportunity, and then
I love that, dude. That's really smart. All right, what's if you had to leave the listener and the viewer right now with one thing that you wanted them to do from this conversation that we've had today so far, what is that?
So the thing is, I was watching Hormozy just before, and he was talking about like people like about the calls. Last time I told you, hey, you have to teach me how to build my calls, and then he was like, and then he said like he's doing 30 reps a day. That's it. Like people like they wonder how can I have more results? How can I do? Bro, you just don't do enough, and you just don't do it. There's two things: you just don't do enough, and and if you do enough of something, it's not about the thing that you do, it's about the thing that you don't do.
You get more, it's addition through subtraction.
There's something that you do not do, that you don't do, and you have to figure out what it is, and then you have to look up what's the result. But also you have to be careful, because sometimes it's taking time to build like result out of what you're doing, right? If you do organic and everything, you have to keep doing it, and then you later. So it's paradox, man. It's really hard to answer those questions, because at the end of the day, like same as my friend, he had a business and then he went in crypto and then the business go down, and then now to come back to a certain level, it will take so much time and effort. So I would just say, come back to the fundamentals, take massive action, and just be consistent. Having like a space like here in Bali, where you can hit at the same level each and every day, like with the sauna, and then just like having just good lion's mane around you, having good like nootropic, having good routine that allow you to take the stress that you need to be able to go to the next level, and being like on a healthy way, like to be able to take all the responsibility. If you hit shit, if you don't fast, if you don't do the good things, then you'll be out of the place super early. And sometimes I see people who are not consistent.
So that was the word I was going to say. I think consistency,
emotionally, and
showing up every day as the person that you need to show up. Like Simon that does the hot yoga at the sauna every single morning.
Christ.
He's there so we sit there in the sauna, and Simon, this beautiful man, is doing his yoga
Ashtanga
routine.
yoga,
and he's incredible, dude. Like, it's mind-blowing the positions he gets in and the strength and stability. It's crazy to watch. Every single day he's there.
For the last, I think for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Every day. He's never missing a day.
Yeah, that's why he's so good. So when people sit there and they come in for the first time, they're like, oh wow, he's really good. And I'm like, and they're like, they're blown away by it. I'm like, yeah, because he's here every day.
Guess what? And that's the same thing. And then people, like, sometimes they don't think they can be able to achieve, like, they overestimate what they can do in 30 days, but they underestimate what they can achieve in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now.
Do you think people are not playing a long enough game? They're wanting gratification too soon, too fast?
Yeah, I think me too. I'm like that too. It's not a problem. But yeah, of course, like here it's fine. Yeah. I will say here it's fine. But when you come back, like, people still have Instagram on their app. Yeah. Like, people still have, like, one thing I said, now I started a YouTube channel. I said, subscribe, like, but don't hit don't activate the notification.
Right.
I will never ask my viewer to activate the notification.
Interesting.
Because this is the worst thing that you can do. Like, you know, people have like all notification all the time. This is dangerous.
Ah, shit, I'm gonna have to take that out of the YouTube.
You have notification.
No, I think there's a little pop-up that comes up in the video. It's like,
and this is
it's like clicks, likes, and clicks, then it clicks the bell.
This is the difference. This is how, like, because people,
that comes up in this episode.
Yeah, guys, stop. Like, you have to stop asking. Like, it's like the rats. Did you see the experience with the rats? It's like the dopamine.
So I just heard yesterday, I was listening to something. So this is crazy. I think this is the same experiment we're talking about. So they had rats. They had a rat in a cage by itself, and it had water or cocaine. And it would keep hitting the cocaine until it died. Is this what you're talking about?
It's with dopamine. They do crazy shit to rats.
Yeah. But do you know what I heard? Is they did another experiment, and it was called Rat Park.
Okay.
Where this guy created a full environment, many rats, many different things to
do,
like society, and then it gave the same thing, water and cocaine, and they didn't touch the cocaine.
Ooh.
So the community aspect of them being able to be around other rats and do other things, but they never actually went for the dopamine.
So it's important to be like to be emotionally stable.
I think it was pointing to the importance of community and actually having, like, not just being in a tight container. Like, and I think that's a problem if you're by yourself, if you're not having great relationships. You like, obviously depression is very much focused on oneself, and you're having these issues, you can go for
dopamine. So what about that? But also what I had also, it was when I started work, when I knew that I didn't want to do 9 to 5 anymore, and I had to start a business, and I had like a year when I was alone.
Yeah.
Pure alone.
Yeah.
I had to stop with my friends. So what about that? Like, because
I
like
same thing here. I reckon I spent 3 years. Our first villa here was down Batu Belong, and I just was in my home office for like 3 years straight.
not talking to anyone.
No,
Because it's I remember it was not that easy.
I was messed up in the head.
Yeah, but you have to go through this. I think I think I had to, because I didn't have like people around me who can support me and tell me like, hey, this is good what you're doing, and you have no fucking clue. You're just doing things that it doesn't make sense to anyone around you, and then you know that you have to do it, and then you continue, and then at the end it worked. But also I would say dopamine, and also the not being afraid of reject and being afraid of being alone.
Yeah.
It's also like you also need to be able to walk alone when it's necessary.
Yes.
Like not being sometimes when you feel like it's about your life.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't have like the emotional strength to go through feeling abandoned or alone, because there's a society, and if you go alone then you'll die, don't have fire, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So I think there is this X dopamine. I mean, if you don't fight both those two, if you're not able to walk alone and being able to think by yourself, and you always rely on external like dopamine, like the first thing that people do is like Instagram. You know, the number one competitor to Netflix is sleep.
Oh wow.
Huh?
Crazy.
Sleep. They compete with sleep, bro. So now they structure all the things to make. Oh, it's a good thing to watch before going to bed.
Yeah.
So then they're pushing the sleep time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, dude. Where does the viewer, the listener, where do we go to find out more about what you're doing?
So it's a French channel, but I'm gonna start to publish also English content, and it's Ismael ESN. You're gonna have probably
the show notes as well.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it'll be
it, brother.
amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you for doing this. Let's do this more.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
That was good.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.